Welcome back, everyone, to Random's Thoughts. If you've been hanging around on my live stream over on Twitch, or if you've checked out here on YouTube any of my recent videos, you may have noticed that there's been a wide plethora of games, one of which I wanted to take some time and talk to you about today, and that's Phobies. So let's jump in. Before we get too far into it, I wanted to give everyone an idea of the scope, my background with Phobies. I only jumped in with the official worldwide release. Well, actually, after the official worldwide release. And as you can see on screen, I played almost 60 games. Not a huge amount, but enough to get a sense of how things work, the systems, etc. I have not put any money into the game so far. It's all free to play. So I've been playing a variety of ladder games, and as you can see, a handful, maybe a little bit more of the async games. So I have some thoughts that I wanted to put together and talk to everybody about the game itself. One more quick thing before we get into it. Obviously, since I'm still what I would consider very much a novice, my opinion may change as time goes on, either as we get more information, the game expands, or things change, of course. So this is only as good as my experience so far. So what exactly is Phobies? I'm going to read you the Steam store page description, and then we'll break it down a little bit. Phobies is a tactical card collecting strategy game where players battle one another in the surreal realm of the subconscious, where fears manifest. Use devious tactics and unleash a dazzling array of attacks and abilities to achieve victory. You can see it in the trailer, you can see it in the screenshots, you can hear it in the description, or read it in the description, I guess. Point is that the game is simultaneously creepy and adorable, horrifying and somehow cuddly. I showed my wife this, and she looks at me and goes, yeah, that's a you game. It was described to me in my Discord that they felt it was Rocky Horror Picture Show meets Monsters, Inc. As you step through the game, you unlock more phobies, you encounter more phobies, you play more games. Every design I have been blown away by. I think they're really cute. You don't necessarily need the hyper-realistic art that is present in other games. It's very stylized, and it just feels right. I absolutely love the lore and the artwork. That may sound like a strange beginning as to, well, why do you like Phobies, Random? Why do you enjoy this game if you're such a competitive player? Well, I am also very lore heavy. I really get into that aspect of games, and Phobies delivers in spades. It isn't just fancy paint, cool graphics, or amusing in-jokes. There's a lot of game to this. If you've been around card games as long as I have, or even if you haven't been around card games that long, you probably heard one of the players complaining about luck or variance or both or some other metaphor to allude to those ideas. Phobies has none of that. You don't have a deck. You have cards, sort of. They are a rectangular shape and you collect them, but you don't have to construct a deck where you shuffle up the cards and then you may or may not see certain components in any given match. Oh, well, I would have just won that game if I finally saw X. Or, oh, they top-decked 3 of these things in a row and I got blown out. That doesn't happen in Phobies. You have access to the whole suite of your monsters. Your little creepy crawlies are there from the word go. It's just management of your keys, your resources in order to play them, and then positioning them around the board. It absolutely emphasizes the strategic and tactical elements, whether it's for the individual maps, your individual opponent, or just your own personal preferences, which is something that I absolutely love about this. Putting the control into the player's hands instead of wrenching it away from them, which many other games seem to love. That's not all, folks. There's no "that's XCOM, baby" moment in this game. Each of the attacks do what they do when they do it, and when you tell them to do it. There's no X percentages or Y chance to miss or anything like that. It's not a matter of, well, I took a 95% shot and missed. Here, if an attack is made, an attack is made. All right, you've heard me gush a little bit about Phobies. There's gotta be a catch, right? Well, yeah, there is a little bit. I play it on PC, I stream it on PC. But you could also play it on iOS or Android. Whereas before I was talking about the low variance, and you don't have to worry about trying to make sure that you, oh, well, I need these percentages to ensure that I hit my resource drop on this turn. No, you manage keys that you automatically get every turn. They carry over turn to turn in order to play your cards, and then your cards, your phobies, are always available to you. But your phobie might not be the same as mine. What do I mean by that? There are card levels. Leveling up then confers a stat bonus. And here's where things start to get messy. As soon as you hear the word stat bonus and leveling, I'm sure a lot of people figured out what I was going to say. But the problem here is that although there is a level cap, I'm nowhere near that. So for some time, I'm going to potentially be encountering people that have the identical phobies as I, but theirs are slightly better, or mine are slightly better. Now, does this work out to be a big deal in practice? Most of the time, no. Generally, the tactics and the strategy vastly outweigh the individual phobie statistics. But there have absolutely been scenarios, one way or the other, where I have either had a phobie live or die simply because of a handful of hit points or a handful of damage points that would have eliminated it if I were simply a level higher or lower. I am overall concerned that there will be challenges where I'm going to be gated trying to continue to climb or continue to progress. Is that actually going to happen? Or is it more realistically going to be my own strategic and tactical limitations? Remains to be seen. Here's the conclusion. Is Phobies a fun game? Absolutely. Am I going to continue playing Phobies personally and am I going to stream it? Absolutely. I'm really enjoying virtually every aspect of this game. I love getting new Phobies because the designs are awesome. I love the atmosphere of Phobies where it's this cutesy, creepy horror scenario. It's just a lot of fun. I love the gameplay of Phobies because it's highly strategic and exceptionally tactical. I'm not a huge fan of necessarily the required business pieces of Phobies. And let's be real. The modern world with how it interacts with mobile games and free to play, this is not abnormal. This is not necessarily unheard of. I'm just not personally a fan of it. And I can't really blame anybody out there who may be watching or listening to this, picks up Phobies and goes, it's not for me. And that's okay. Not every game is for everybody, but it is free to play. It is on a number of platforms. And as I said, I'm really enjoying it. If you're interested in checking out some live Phobies action or any of the other games that I happen to stream, you can head on over to Twitch and look up RTChompGG. Just like this YouTube channel, which, by the way, if you found this informative or entertaining, then please hit the subscribe and like button. Definitely helps me out a lot. But that's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Black Lives Matter.